I have a question because you were playing that clip of when you were talking to Greg about fracking, and
oh, yeah.
I don't really understand what fracking is.
Okay, so we're having this natural gas boom in the United States right now. We're digging up a ton of it. And the way fracking works is essentially you drill a hole, and into that hole you shoot a bunch of water and sand and chemicals. And it flies out of the tube, and it smushes up all the, it's in shale, most of the gas is in shale. And if you've seen shale, right, it's really brittle. So all that stuff like whooshes out and smashes up the shale, and when the shale's broken up, it releases all this gas, they capture the gas, and that's natural gas.
Okay.
So the problem with fracking, at least from an environmental perspective, is that you're injecting, well, it's two parts. One is you're injecting all this like gross chemical shit under the earth. And I don't know if you saw it, but there's like videos of people who turn like their water, like their faucet water on fire because all of that stuff seeps into the groundwater. And some of that is true and some of that's not true. It's obviously never good to put weird chemicals into the groundwater.
Where they weren't before.
Right, and so there's a big push from environmentalists now to stop all that stuff. And I'll get back to that in a second. The other way in which this is a problem is that we're doing it so much and we're breaking up kind of like this foundational stuff underneath the earth that it's causing like a bunch of minor earthquakes. So far nothing too serious like 3s, 4s on the Richter scale, that kind of thing. But that's another part to really think about and like, hey, maybe it's not a good idea to, undercut the underpinnings of the earth on which we're standing. But the real thing, I mean, mostly it's about the pollution part of it. And I'm not really actually that opposed to natural gas and fracking at large, only because I'm looking at the larger problem of how we continue to get energy while doing away with the current way that we get energy. And natural gas burns a lot cleaner, about half again as clean as like oil and coal. And so it's a really good transition fuel if you were thinking like, okay, today we're all oil and coal, and in the future we want to be all renewable. And how do we get from point A to point B? Well, you can't just shut off everything we got now and expect this to pop up overnight. I mean, our energy needs we're voracious. We just use energy for everything, and the production needs cannot be met with solar and wind tomorrow unless there was some global renaissance, which, believe me, I wish would happen. But in transition between where we are and where we want to be, I think natural gas is actually a really good solution because, well, one, it's a bone you can throw to the oil and coal industries so that they're not completely eliminated. It's really good because we've got a ton of it and it's all local to the United States. We can basically be energy independent tomorrow if we found a way to use all this natural gas. I do break from my environmentalist brothers a little bit on this issue just because logistically I think it could be a really important thing. And you can run power plants on natural gas, you can run cars on natural gas. I mean, the technology for all that is there. It's just a matter of getting it incorporated and telling people that this is what we're doing now, instead of saying like, oh, maybe the market will sort of figure out some way to do something. Maybe, like, no, we need to say, this is what we're doing now because we're all going to die otherwise. I need to not talk in those terms. But natural gas is good, and we've got a ton of it. We just got to figure out how to start using it, I think. Fracking. It's a good word, though, right? Fracking meant fucking. Did you ever watch that show?
Yes.
I love that show.
Yes.
I wish it had never gone off television.
I wish they hadn't taken fracking from that show and made it into...
Into what?
Well, I mean, I liked it a lot better when I only thought of it in terms of that show.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well, it's not too far away, right? Like, just think of it, you're fucking the earth instead.
Yeah, it's true.
Fucking